Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the odd couple event in which the Orc Veteran, the Drake, and the Bone Daemon are all added into the game. So let's start off with the Orc Veteran. He is going to be really good with any kind of red spawning team, particularly with orcs, but just any red spawning team in general will be fine. He does 10 plus his magic for his higher value, and his lower value is half of whatever that number is. And he does create 8 red gems whenever he has a higher attack. He does this for a 12 mana cost. As far as traits, a little bit of odd trait choices. I was expecting him to have something like Orc Fury. They end up giving him Orc Armor instead, so I guess he'll be used more of a second slot troop, I guess. Though this does make it a little bit weird that he doesn't have Orc Fury, mainly because you won't really be able to get higher attack, be able to do your gem spawn. This week you probably will be, because he has 50%, so he's higher than almost everything you're going to be facing other than other orcs. But that does seem like a slightly odd choice as far as traits. So not really too worth even trading him unless you're going to be using him with the new Garnock, of course, which will trigger his additional armor, and I guess Firebrand, since you're going to be using at least 1 or 2 other reds on the team, would end up giving him a few additional attack. As far as how viable he will be, not really that much after this week. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will use him this week, then he's kind of just going to fall off, because without his 50%, he's not going to have enough tack to really be able to do his 8 gem spawn. But at least for this week, he will be a okay kind of troop to use. And the Drake, the troop that will never be used on its own, but it is pretty nice. One thing that the Drake does do now is it summons from a Drake rider. There's a 100% chance, assuming it does not get suns, that it will summon this troop. So this is kind of like the little spider spawn that Giant Spider has. It's something very small that you'll probably never really use, but it's still good to have so you can trade it up, so that when it does get summoned, you'll have the traits off it. As far as what it does, it's pretty much just a Drake rider without the convert. It has a slightly different color. It deals damage to an enemy, boosted by red gems, half to that of the adjacent enemies, and has a 3-to-1 ratio on the boost. And as far as traits, you do want to trade it, because it does get big, and it does get the flame being able to burn out the enemies. So as far as using this troop, you'd never actually use it within a team, but you would need to get it for your Drake rider. And there is a third one added. Of course, those two you can buy for glory. Oh, also one thing I should probably mention as well, those are brown yellow trait stones right there off of the Drake. This of course is used for many of the very overused troops in the game, most notably being a Gorgoltha, so definitely go and trade that up if you haven't already. Famine and a few others also end up using that trait stone, if I am not mistaken. And one other troop is in here. In the Glory and Gem chest, they added the Bone Daemon. You'll likely want to get 1 and then don't get any more. Wait until the new Mythic comes out before you throw more keys than just getting the 1. But there is the Bone Daemon now. This, of course, is summoned by the Summoner. The Bone Daemon deals damage to an enemy, double if there's a Bone Storm, and then creates a Bone Storm, so it doesn't automatically do 2 times damage always. This is not the case because the Bone Storm triggers afterwards, so if there's no Bone Storm and you initially do the damage, it'll only do whatever value is there, but all subsequent ones, assuming there's already a Bone Storm going, will end up doing double damage. As far as traits, he is the second troop to have both Warded and Death Touch. The other one is the Dark Troll, but still a very, very nice combo. Death Mark is still quite overly used, even though it now has a 1-turn delay. Just one thing to note about Death Touch in general, now that there is a 1-turn delay as of the 3.05 patch, is that placing a Death Mark on an enemy and then keep doing it every single turn will give a 0% chance to kill them, because there's always a 1-turn delay, and you doing another skull to poke against them will replenish this. So don't take a skull every single turn if you're using this in first slot. You'd kind of mainly be casting your abilities and only taking skulls to reapply the Death Mark when it does get removed from them. So don't just keep taking skulls, or else they're never really going to die from the Death Touch. And Summoner, of course, is the troop that now summons it. It also has a 2 higher life gain to everything, and it now has the new Armored whenever it takes damage. And I might as well real quickly just go over all of the wrong area for that. Might as well go over all of the troops real quick. We've gone over these before, but I do just want to reiterate, because of course this kingdom is all on bonus this week. 25% for all of the Garnock troops, as well as an additional 25% for all of the orcs. Armored Boar, what change did this get? It now has a 5 times boost ratio instead of a 3 times. Cyclops, it can now target who it wants to hit instead of being forced to do the first slot. It also now gains 3 attack whenever it takes HP damage, which is pretty nice. Dark Song, complete rework over it. It now deals damage to an enemy. It no longer has the green 2 times damage, but it decreases a random skill by 4 and steals 3 mana, meaning she claims this, or sorry, steals 6 mana, which means she claims that 6 mana, assuming they have that much, from Orcs and Daemon, so you might want to use her as a little bit of a counter to them. And she also has Orc Cunning now, which will give her the 2 extra magic whenever she takes damage. She also has Curse now instead of the Jinx. Drake already went over. Drake Rider, of course, is the troop that summons Drake. Everything on it's exactly the same, other than the fact that it now deals half its damage to adjacent enemies, which is pretty nice. And it now gains armor off of whenever it takes HP damage, and it now has the Loyal Mount, which 100% chance to summon a Drake. Only way to undo this is if you stun it with something like a Corvash. Next up is Elf Eater's exactly the same. Sorry, never mind. Feldras, the change on this is it ended up getting a well, for one, the Boar Rider summon that it has is now buffed, and it now has +2 magic whenever it takes life damage, so it'll be able to one-shot a bit easier. Garnock, big change here, now does 1 true damage to all allies instead of just 1 physical damage. This means it will trigger traits like these, or anything that triggers whenever you take life damage. He also has a 50% mana to all allies, or all Orc allies, I mean, sorry. And he now summons a random Orc instead of always summoning the Orc, the one called Orc. And he has a gem spawn of 8 reds and 8 browns, boosted by additional orcs on the team. I say 8 because he is indeed an orc himself, so it will by default always do 8 of each, and you can get it as high as 11, assuming your entire team is orcs, which is advised this week, because you do get 5 additional glory for doing so. And Krog the Dread now has Impervious, a 1 lower mana cost, and it now summons based on red. This is quite handy due to the fact that its summoning on purple was pretty bad, since you had to use a giant spider with it, which would sometimes create a summon that you couldn't use with it. Now you use a Hellcat for it, which works better on synergy, works better with Daemon synergy as well, and you don't block any manas, and you just get it up. So yeah, it even feeds mana directly into it. So that'll work out pretty nice. Ogryn, no change to that. Orc now is the first troop to have Enrage. What Enrage does 1.5 attack damage and ignores their traits. So if you find like Orgolfa or any kind of Stone Skin or any kind of skull resistance is kind of being annoying, you can hit through all of that with an Enrage. This only works for 1 attack though. It also now gains attack instead of destroying a bunch of skulls, and now transforms all greens to brown, which is quite handy because there are quite a few all orc teams that you can use that can now avoid using the green color. And as far as that, just like all the other orcs, he did get the orc armor, or at least one of the orc traits. Orc Veteran we already went over, Summoner we already went over, and Weaver, they basically doubled everything. He now has 11 mana cost instead of 10, but he now basically does twice as much of everything. He does the first 2 enemies instead of the first, and he now poisons the last 2 enemies instead of the last. Traits are exactly the same. You may also notice there's a slightly new icon, or at least anyone on PC and mobile will notice this. I think console already had this icon, but there is a downgrade. The refunds that I was kind of going to go over last week, which for some reason wasn't in the game yet, but it is now. If you type in refund into the search bar, you'll find all the troops that are currently available for refund. These were all the troops that got either nerfed or rebalanced during the 3.05 patch. If you don't see the troop that got nerfed here that you found was nerfed and you kind of want the trait stones back, just send a support ticket to Gems of War and they will likely be able to refund it for you. But these are the main 4 that they ended up doing. Dark Song, mainly because she used to do 2 times the green, and now she's kind of a completely different counter to completely different troops. Now she's more of a Orc and Daemon counter instead of a green counter. Famine, of course, everyone knows that got nerfed very, very hard. Now has a 24 mana cost, no longer has Jinx, and instead has Cursed. So yeah, as far as refunding this, it's kind of depends if you're going to be using it for Guild Wars. I did use Famine in Guild Wars last week, and it still seemed just as powerful as always. Though if you're using this on Defend in any reason, you definitely don't really need to. Famine's not really that good on Defend anymore, as its mana cost is too high and easily counterable. But yeah, if you refund it, it's mainly up to you. He does use a lot of trait stones. You could reinvest that into other troops if you wanted to. Garnock has a refund, though everything about him is pretty much a buff. The only thing he doesn't do anymore, which is kind of odd, surprised they didn't give him a small value of it, he no longer increases the attack of all allies, which is kind of odd because a lot of orcs are dependent on having that higher attack, like the one that just came in today. But he no longer increases attack at all, and this means there is no attack buffing troop on another troop within the entire kingdom, which is slightly odd. But yeah, he is up available for refund, and of course Cabarrus, which is almost useless now. 40% chance to devour, and it has a 50% chance to summon now, so you might as well go refund this, maybe go into Keeper of Souls or something else. Unless you're running this with the fully traded Forest Guardian, there's really no point in running just a Cabarrus in a team. Keeper of Souls and other brown purple options are pretty much always better now than a Cabarrus, so you can pretty much just ditch it if you're not going to be using it with a Forest Guardian. So let's go over some of the other events and all that kind of stuff. Week of Garnock, of course, as I mentioned, we do have 25% to all orcs as well as to all of the Groshnok Kingdom. As far as the bonuses, we do gain plus 5 glory whenever we win with an all-orc team in PvP. Actually, I believe you only have to use it. Even if you lose, I believe you still get the 5 glory as well. And as far as our objectives, we need to go and kill orcs. This can be done in PvP or Explore. Of course, if you want to do it in Explore and not have to worry about doing it in PvP, easiest place to do this is within the Garnock Kingdom, because you're going to get about 2 to 4 orcs every single time you do any battle here. And as far as what to do for an all-orc team, I do have 2 of them that I want to show. And it looks like we're going to be starting off right against one. So let's go start off with this initial one. We're going to be going with Feldros, Drake Rider, Orc Veteran, and the Garnock. The only problem with the Orc Veteran here, I don't know if we actually have a higher attack than anything on this team. Oh, never mind. We actually have a higher attack than all of them. He isn't as upgraded as us, so we will go with this. But yeah, you do have to be careful using the Orc Veteran against other orcs this week, because you need a higher attack to be able to do a spawn. I forget if I mentioned it earlier, but there's also a glitch slash anti-exploit kind of thing. I don't know if they added it deliberately or if they added it unintentionally, but Orc Veteran will not spawn his 8 reds, even if he has a higher attack, if he does the final blow on a troop. So do keep that in mind. You cannot really last hit with him. He's the only troop currently in the game that is punished for last hitting a troop. I don't know if that's a glitch or if it was intended so he wouldn't loop as hard. But yeah, if you do the final blow with him, he will not do his spawn. Like right here, if we don't kill it, like right now, we'll just go throw this down and we'll easily get our 8 gem spawn. Actually, let me take the skull first. There isn't really any point in throwing it down yet. But we'll throw it down on that and then do like a little split damage thing. So as you can see, he created a bunch of reds, which is why I waited. And then we will go and throw this down, and we will get our 8 red spawn. And we can keep doing this, assuming we actually get extra turns, which we didn't. But if we do the final blow, he will not do his 8 red gem spawn as of this current moment. So right here, we do have every single ability. I guess we'll throw this down. I think this is a one-shot. I'm not going to bother calculating out, but yes, it is indeed a one-shot. Oh, why did I do that? I did that right when he was doing the summon, and he gets the exact same summon. So that was a little bit bad on my part, fail. But we'll go use this. This will trigger, of course, the 1 true damage. Will trigger all of our on HP traits, which will get them all their extra stats, whatever they happen to have. Of course, we get armor, 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 and the magic off of this one. So right here, that did set us back a little bit. Maybe I should just go for Garnock, gosh. Though she has a spawn too, but she can only do it based on reds on the board. So let me just go for Garnock so we don't have to deal with him. Of course, we got the extra turn over there. Don't really have a follow-up though. So we'll move that over. Still don't have a thing. We get a 2-to-1 boost ratio off all the magic. So 100 damage on the dot right there. That is not too bad. It's not one-shot worthy, but it is definitely pretty high. She's particularly good against summoners, because summoners tend to have a really high magic value, as you can see. Or let's actually see, yeah. We should have the highest on the team. Yeah, you can see Garnock, even though it's only a legend compared to them, does have the highest stats on the entire team by quite a huge margin. Of course, he is getting 3 from his trait as well. But yeah, anything that has an excessively high magic value, particularly summoners, because all summoners have really high magic values, she's going to be really good against. So do keep that in mind. She's kind of going to be an anti-summoner, which is kind of an interesting combo in itself. But yeah, that is the main thing that she's actually used for. And we do get her mana back. We do have enough to kill, but I think I will go for a skull first. I didn't use the new orc, you may have noticed in my team. You can even see the enrage and everything going on there. I do find the new orc to be pretty nice, the rework that they did to it. But on a team like this, I did want to cover all of the colors as far as everything that we have for options. And in picking him, we wouldn't have covered all the colors, since the only color he uses is a red. So he kind of blocks up quite a bit of stuff. But we'll throw the Feldros right there. I will go and kill it, and we'll go throw this down and show that he does not do a jump spawn. As you can see, we have 52 attack, he is 46. We indeed have a higher attack, but if we end up killing him right there, we will not get the 5 red spawn. As you can see, no reds were made on the board. Not sure if that is intended or not, but that is how it currently behaves. So do keep that in mind when using it, unless they're going to be fixing that. But yeah, that is how it currently behaves. So try not to one-shot with, or try not to do the final shot with it if you can help it at all. So right here, we will go for another Feldross poke. Of course, her amount of damage, actually, I might as well not even go for it yet. Her amount of damage does decrease as you cast it more and more, or as you kill more and more, I should say, because the less troops on the enemy team, the less it has to do a to get the magic from. As you can see, there's only 2, the 27 and the 31. When there's more, of course, we'll do more. There's not enough red on the board, so I am going to wait before I really do anything. And of course, there's the 100% chance of summoning a Drake as well. Whoa, what are you doing? Whoa, that thing is aggressive. But we'll go... Oh, neither of them are near each other now either. Oh, that's a bit annoying. Let's go summon an Orc. Might as well. Yeah, we'll throw that down, get ourselves a new Orc. Boom, and what do we get? And the mana goes right into it. We have double of the Drakes. Yeah, these Drakes are definitely very annoying right now. Since they have a 100% chance to resummon. The only way to counter that out, it would be, of course, to stun it. So not having a stun on your team, like what we're doing right now, is quite a bit annoying, because there's no way to stop that summon otherwise. So we'll go and throw another little poke at it, trying to get a skull or something. We'll just throw these for now, though, until we move it all the way down. Whoa, it even went for our summoner there. Wow, it could potentially win. But yeah, these are orcs just orking against each other. Not really the strongest of teams these days. Personally, I'm not going to be bothering to even use a all-orc team this week. Mainly because there isn't really much need to. They go relatively slow. There isn't anything excessively quick as a kill card, except a Cyclops. But a Cyclops, even within a all-orc team, doesn't work as well anymore because there's no other troop in the... there's nothing that raises its attack anymore. The only thing that you can really do is keep using Garnock for a 3 attack boost. But it used to do like a 20-something attack boost, so the comparison for that is relatively low. So yeah, there isn't really anything too much of a kill card really in this kingdom. Still a lot of really fun troops to have here and there. Drake Rider will probably be used within Dragon teams. As far as that, I'm pretty sure, even though I didn't really go over it too much, Krog the Dread may have some comeback coming as well. I didn't actually bother even making a team with it right now, but of course now that it has Impervious, that gives it Impervious plus a 5% chance to devour something. So with Orc Spam, it may be pretty used. I forgot to change the team for this one, but I did want to mention for any of you that may know or may be a newer player what to kind of build if you do want to get the 5 extra glory this week for a team. This is all ultra rares and below. I made sure not to put anything too high into this team, but it's Orc, Drake Rider, Cyclops, and Summoner. And you'll end up, basically what you'll want to do is get the Drake Rider up, get the Convert, do most of your damage through the Orc. Then once the Orc dies, you'll be doing most of your damage through your Cyclops. Cyclops, for the most part, will be able to almost one-shot in everything it does. And you know what? Let's actually go try it now. It did switch my banner as well, which is kind of odd. I guess it didn't save my team. It didn't save my rename, and it didn't save the banner, I guess. Because I do specifically remember setting a banner for this team. So we will go on... Actually, there's 2 options. I think we're going to go for a brown-red, though, so we can get into our Drake Rider, as well as a quicker Orc, if I can figure that where out that is. This is the actual Orc banner as well, so we'll go throw this down, even though we're up against Gorgotha. Normally, skull-oriented teams won't really be that good against it, but of course, now we'll be able to show the new Enrage and its capability of hitting right through that. So we'll go and just try finding some mana here. Move that, get that out of the way so we can get some other manas to the board. We'll class the Siren and give us some mana, though it only gave us purples, which is one of the least effective ones. Could have added to the board. So just for a 100% chance, I'm going to go for the brown there in case it didn't surge, though it did, so we're kind of fine. I'll throw down another Siren and ruined my extra turn by doing so. That's a bit unfortunate. I guess we'll take the brown again. This will go into the Cyclops. I'm doing this mainly, even though it gives it green and everything, I'm trying to get it into alignment. Please don't overwrite it. Oh, come on. I was trying to get alignment and you ruined it on us. And now he's going to ruin the entire board and everything. So we're still not... he still hasn't disabled us on this. It's not frozen yet. We are just frozen on red, so this is no longer a extra turn. But we'll throw this down right there so we can get the double pokes to the sides. We, of course, lose our turn due to freeze. But now we are going to go and gain a attack buff. There are 2 skulls there. 3 skulls, actually. He cannot stop all of them. Let me just take a green right there. Okay, now there's 2 skulls. But he cannot stop both the 2 skulls, so now is a perfect time to go use Enrage. So we'll go do that. I almost completely forgot about the Convert fail. So he will end up getting that little poke. But and now it's telling us about Enrage, because I actually haven't ever bothered really using Enrage. It isn't anything too over the top as far as power. I do want to not kill the Gorgoltha, just so I can show that it does the hit through the trait. But we'll just go and kill that out. Should probably go for Queen Mab next as well. But all we really need to do is try finding ourselves a skull as of this current moment. So we'll go take the brown right there, get ready for the convert. Hopefully we're not going to be frozen anymore on it. And now we can take the skull in perfect timing. So we will go for a brown, drop that into a skull, and of course, boom, it dies. We hit with the Enrage right through the trait, and down it goes. So we will go now for, I guess, a brown. Hope it surges. I don't have too much we can do here. Won't be able to use Summoner for the Bone Daemon, mainly because we're going to probably win without even needing to use it. So we'll just throw that down for gigantic hit. Cyclops, within the context of other teams with actual attack buffers and everything, I feel like Cyclops, double Cyclops in some kind of team might actually have quite a bit of potential as well. The main thing with Cyclops is, of course, getting attack buffs on him. But that's not really that possible to do anymore within the kingdom. Garnock can feed it quite a bit of attack if you get him looping, but that alone isn't really enough to sustain him. And of course, we do have the Summoner for the Bone Daemon, though we are not going to be able to get the Bone Daemon out. Going to go for the Drake right there, and there we go. A Bone Daemon isn't really anything special of a troop, but it is way stronger than the previous summon it had, which was a Ghoul. It's not really something you would ever really use in a team, the Bone Daemon that is. But at least this makes Summoner a little bit more realistic of a summoner to use maybe within Guild Wars or just in general earlier on in the game. Also, earlier on in the game, if you're still thinking about the choice of Dark Master or Summoner, it is definitely a better choice now to go for Summoner than the Dark Master. Dark Master has a relatively poor summon, but so did the Summoner. But now that Summoner has a good summon, there's basically no point in using the Dark Master in the current state that it is that it is in. But anyways, if you guys still have any other questions about anything with this event, with the orcs, or anything in general for Gems of War, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Best of luck getting that Bone Daemon, because it is a little bit annoying to get. But yeah, do hold off on the Bone Daemon. I know I mentioned that earlier. I just want to reiterate, though, don't waste all of your keys just trying to get a bunch of Bone Daemons. There's no point in getting more than one as of this current moment, just for the sake of trading it. Then when you open up more keys later, like when the new Mythic comes out or New Kingdom or anything like that, then you'll be able to get it while also getting the troops for that new kingdom. Anyways, see y'all, goodbye, and thanks for watching.